hello. I've put you like really close to me today because I just want to feel like we're on the couch having a cup of tea or coffee and we're just sitting down and talking together, because I feel like I haven't done a sit down video in ages. I have chapped lips. And I just want to open up because probably don't do this often enough. This is going to be kind of a Q&A, but almost like we're just having a catch up, basically. Because, yeah, I'm probably going to go on a tangent, on a rant. I feel a bit nervous because I haven't sat down and actually done a sit down video in so long. And then there's been times that I've wanted to, and then I've never found the time. I've made excuses. And obviously I've become a mum again for the third time. But yeah, I just wanted to sit down really and catch up with you all and say hello. I'm not in a great headspace this morning. And I don't like this channel to be negative. Like, don't get me wrong, I want to show you the reality of motherhood, because that's why sometimes I have to remind myself why I started this YouTube channel, because we were thrown into a global pandemic. I then worked remotely at home with 2 kids, one being a toddler, and I completely lost myself. Because I don't know about you, when I had children, I went back to work as a form of an escapism, and to be me again, I put on office clothes rather than babysit clothes, and I don't know, I actually really liked it. Don't get me wrong, at first when you go back it's so daunting, you're like, oh, I don't want to leave my baby, but I quite liked it. The 2 days a week that I went back, I used to work 2 long days, I was just Chrissy. I wasn't mum, I wasn't partner, I wasn't cleaner, I wasn't cook, I wasn't chef. I literally went to work, I got to drink hot coffee as much as I wanted. I didn't have to answer to anybody other than management, but it's completely different, isn't it, to, Mum, I want a snack, Mum, will you wipe my bum? And yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say, I'm probably going on a rant. But yeah, I found myself, I wasn't me anymore, so I created this YouTube channel, and don't get me wrong, you guys are lush. Like, talking to you, you've got me through more than I think you ever know. I'm gonna cry. What is wrong with me? Oh, hold the tears in. This isn't a pity me, yeah? But like, talking to you like in my car, listening to Kiss FM, you don't understand. Like, there's been times when like inside, I literally felt hollow. And I do briefly touch upon my mental health and that I'm having counselling and things like that. Oh, and I do like to be open and transparent, but since having Jessie, I've just found it really hard. And I get it, like, motherhood is hard, and I've had, like, everyone has their struggles, right? My middle child, I do not talk about it. I do not talk about her health issues. I've wanted to do a sit-down video so many times to discuss it, because she has a genetic condition, it's so rare, and it was so terrifying when she was a baby. And don't get me wrong, we thrived. I don't know, I think I put up a defence mechanism and I didn't sweat the small stuff, because she went through a lot, and it was quite a worrying time, right? And I don't know why, I just thought, oh, having a third child, I know all children are different, but Jessie's a lot. I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot. And it's hard to film content with him because I don't want to exploit him at the same time, but he's a lot. When I say he cries a lot, he cries a lot. He cries all day. Whinges all day, as we call it. And he has CMPA, which is cow's milk protein allergy. And we're exclusively breastfeeding, which has its ups and its downs. I'm not going to be negative about breastfeeding, but I'm not going to shout it from the rooftops either, because I equally have my struggles with it, but then I don't want to stop. I love it, I can't explain it. But if he didn't have CMPA, would he be on formula now? I don't know. I only did 8 weeks with Lily, and she was on formula on Hungry Baby Cow and Gate milk, I believe. Hungry Baby milk. Our breastfeeding journey is amazing. Don't get me wrong, his latch is lovely, my milk flow is lovely. Touch wood, touch wood, touch wood, touch wood. Never got mastitis, anything like that. It's great. It's been hard, you know, when they're cluster feeding to up your supply and things like that. Like, it's been hard. I've had to educate myself on breastfeeding because I've done it for a lot longer. But yeah, we're exclusively breastfeeding. Doesn't get on with a bottle. I haven't tried him again with a bottle recently. I keep telling myself I want to, and then I just never get in that mindset. I don't know. It's like I want him to have a bit of independence away from me, but I equally struggle about it. But then I'm equally struggling not having any independence away from him either. It's literally a head. It's a mind game. And I don't know. The reason why I'm sharing it is because I want to say it's hard. I want to say that if you're watching mummy vloggers and their children are happy as Larry, that's okay. I've had children that are happy as Larry, but there are children out there that cry all day and it's normal. I just want you to know that. If your child's whinging all day from the minute they wake up in the morning to the minute they go to bed and you feel like pulling your hair out, it is normal. Like, there are just some babies that do that. And I think I set myself up for a massive fall because he is a whinge. I love Jesse more than anything in this world. I love all my children. I don't know if it's because when he was born he was so upset with having the allergy, so every time he cries I can't bear it. It's not even a cry, it's like a whinge. I was with my friend for a coffee today and he started and I'm fretting, which I didn't think I did, but obviously evidently I do. I knew I did it, but yeah. And she's like, oh, my friend's like that. And she goes, and I love her, like, she's one of my bestest friends in the whole wide world. Lucy, if you're watching this, I love you. And she was like, just let him whinge, it doesn't bother me. Obviously if it bothers you, but it really doesn't bother me. And she's so right. I think I've not even allowed him to whinge, because as soon as he does, I'm there. Whether that's a snack, a drink, milk, a boob, a cuddle, a jiggle, a smile, a laugh. And I get it, like, here's my baby boy and I'll do anything to stop it. But I think I've got a bit of trauma associated with this whinge, because when he was little he didn't whinge, he screamed. And obviously we thought it might have been colic or something like that, and it turned out he had this allergy. And it's carried on from that, and I think he's so used to making a sound and me being there, I just don't think it's helping him either, if that makes sense. So we got back and he's been whinging and he's in his cot now. And I started doing sleep training with him and he responded so well. I'll do another video on that if you want me to talk about it. And then I had guilt because, oh, we didn't have a contact nap today. I'm literally killing myself. I don't actually know what I want. I want to have a contact nap, but then I equally want to have 5 minutes to myself to make a drink or make myself some lunch or do a quick tidy. But yeah, I'm going on a tangent, but this is basically a summary of adjusting to a life with 3 children. And I just want to be open and honest and say I'm struggling. The struggle's real. I don't think Adam's not getting home every day and I'm crying. I'm actually getting on with it. I think this is the first time I've cried on this kind of topic. It's the first time I've cried. I can't tell you the last time I've cried where Jesse has made me feel like I want to cry, because I just get on with it and I run myself ragged, but that's just me. But today it's just a lot, and I just want you, if you're clicking on this video in 3 months from now, 3 years from now, 2 weeks from now, today, and you're struggling, I want you to know that you're not alone, that some babies are just like this and they don't grow out with it, and that's just them, that's their personality. And he's 5 months at the moment, and I started weaning him because I thought, you know, maybe he's ready. And now I'm starting to think, I don't know if he is. I don't think he's not ready. He's fully sitting up and he's doing all the milestones that's recommended. Technically he's 6 months, but he is making all the milestones. He's grabbing for my food. He's showing interest. But it's part of me giving him food because I want to shut him up. No, but you know what I mean. It's part of me giving him food because I want him to have a comfort in something else. But I don't think that's the case. I think I could give that boy, when he's older, for example, as a toddler, a whole packet of chocolate buttons. I don't think it'd make him happy for longer than 5 minutes, if you get my mentality there. But no, that's me. I'm struggling. So that's why I'm not regular with YouTube, because YouTube was and still very much is my outlet, but I have no time in the evenings to edit any videos. I'm tempted to buy a laptop, but then I've got to justify spending that money in my head on me rather than the kids, because laptops and things, they're not cheap, are they, to buy. There's so many brand opportunities that I've had and that I could work with, and honestly I'm honoured that anyone would want to work with me or allow me to gift me their products or to share anything with you guys. Obviously, you know, I only work with brands that I believe in and that excite me and that I actually love. I test everything beforehand, but I've turned so much opportunity away because I physically don't have the time. And I also am conscious I don't want to be ad. That's not what this was. This channel was a little hobby. Yeah, it does make me a little bit of side income, I'm not going to lie. And it's amazing and I love it. Like, when brands reach out to me that I'm already buying from and I'm already using, then yeah, why wouldn't I? It makes sense. But like I said, I turn so much opportunity away because I physically, when I say physically, I just don't have any time. And I think it's hard because, don't get me wrong, as mums we do forget. what it's like. Otherwise we wouldn't have more children. I think we're programmed to forget that he's a lot of child, and I feel like I'm being really negative now. And that's why it's good sometimes just to talk in the moment, because I'll forget this tomorrow and we'll have a fantastic day. But it's a lot. It's a lot when your baby's just whingy and happy quite a lot of the time, and there isn't really any reason for it. And I thought, I went dairy and soy free, so he has no milk, dairy in his body, because I went dairy and soy free and we're breastfeeding. I chose to continue with breastfeeding because the formula that they were prescribing me was a hypoallergenic formula, and it wasn't guaranteed that it wouldn't still make him unhappy, and he was so unhappy. I physically couldn't lay him down without him screaming, and I need to remind myself of that. So I decided to cut dairy and soy out of my diet, and trust me, it's hard. Dairy you can kind of get by, but soya lecithins is in absolutely everything, and I'll do it in a heartbeat to make him happy. But when he's still grumpy every day, it's like you're clutching at straws trying to find a fix. And I think I've realised today that that's just him, and that's just the way things are. So yeah, I just wanted to explain why I'm absent. And thirdly, I just wanted to be real with you, because I don't always show the lows. I show the highs because that's what everyone wants to share. I don't always show the lows. I try to show the lows, but you don't feel like picking up a camera on a day where we're sofa bound and he's teething, and it's really hard work. I did it in a vlog recently, which I'll pop in the description box if you haven't seen. But it's hard and it's draining, and equally I don't know if that's what you're here for. Like, I don't really want to watch, I want to watch relatable content, but I don't think I'd want to watch someone's baby being upset a lot of the time through the vlog, because it makes you feel bad about yourself, don't it? And equally, we watch YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and Netflix series and things like that. Any content that we watch is, for me, it's to fulfill something, it's to uplift me, it's to motivate me or make me happy. And I don't think if I was to see another child really unhappy 80% of the time, I don't think I'd want to watch that. But each to their own. But yeah, that's just explaining a bit why I'm absent. I've got so much content. I don't struggle really filming content, it's the editing. But I think I'm going to beat the bullet and get a laptop, so then at least then I can edit of an evening on the sofa rather than sitting in the office, or on my bed if Jesse's unsettled and I'm feeding him, etc, etc. So I might do that. But I know you lot are absolutely lurching, you're like, oh, don't worry, please don't worry. But I love doing YouTube. Absolutely love it. Like, it's a passion of mine. I love putting my life on screen. I love looking back at old vlogs of my babies when they were literally tiny, because my eldest is nearly 9 now. Like, where does the time go? And equally, I've just got such lovely content to look back on. And also, I love watching myself grow. I feel like I've really grown. I think I was about 27 or 28 when I started this YouTube channel. I'm 31 now. It's mental. But yeah, that's it from me. I did put a Q&A on my Instagram a while ago, so let me go and get my phone and find out what the questions were, and I'll answer a few. So yeah, one of the questions was, do you miss the newborn stage? And if you want me to be really real and transparent with you, no. I don't feel like I had a newborn stage. I didn't have a sleepy, cuddly newborn. I had a really upset, cranky, heartbreaking, crying baby. And it was a lot. I think as well with the breastfeeding, it's a lot as well, because you do need to solely, how do I explain it, delegate, because you can't do anything else. You've just got to feed this baby. And I found it hard, because every time I'd feed him, he'd then scream and he was upset. And just touching upon that, because I've also asked, how did you know your child had CMPA? I'll happily do a separate video on this, but I need to get quite a few questions, and I didn't have that many on Instagram, so maybe pop some in the comments down below, and after a while, if I've got quite a few comments, I'll do a video on it. But yeah, Jesse had a few telltale signs. He had nappy rash, constant explosive poos. However, obviously 5 weeks old, they poo a lot. And breastfed babies, I just put it down to being a breastfed baby, because breastfed babies do poo a lot more than formula. He also had a slight rash here. It's quite mild, but that's a telltale sign. Sneezing a lot, to the point where you're like, oh, sneezing again, because babies do sneeze. He sneezed twice today, I think, but it was enough for an alarm bell to be like, oh, he's sneezing a lot. Is there a plug-in? Is there flowers? which I've never really considered thinking about with the girls. So that was a telltale sign. And what else was there? Obviously really unsettled, really, really unhappy. And I don't want to go into too much detail, but in the nappy is very mucousy, snotty like texture of poo. And yeah, that was it. That's all I can think of. But I just knew something wasn't right. We tried Infocol, we tried grape water, we tried winding him, I tried sitting up with him to feed him, I tried not laying him down for half an hour after, and nothing really helped. The Infocol did help slightly, but I think that's probably because he was windy, because they're all windy, aren't they, when they're little. So it probably helped because the wind was probably unsettling him as well. But yeah, nothing seemed to work. But if you do feel like a mother's instinct, something isn't right, speak to your GP again and again and again. I went 3 times in a week until I got the emergency referral. And that was due to another health issue that he had that I will obviously discuss at a later date. It's just I don't want to go on a tangent. So yeah, those were some of the signs for CMPA, which is cow's milk protein allergy or cow's milk protein intolerance. I'm not entirely sure which one he's got, but they're both treated the same. So I just say allergy because you can't really have a cow's milk intolerance. You can have a lactose intolerance, but not a cow's milk intolerance. So it makes no sense. But yeah, there was that. And then obviously people have asked me how I've adjusted to becoming a mum of 3. And I just want to say I haven't. I've coped, but I haven't. We've got swimming lessons later and I'm not really sure how we're going to navigate it. I never really know. And thirdly is the advice I want to give you if you're becoming a mum of several, whether that's from 1 to 2, 2 to 3 or even 0 to 1, is try not to be too fixed on a routine and let the housework go. I'm saying that while I'm looking around this room and it's mental, but let the housework go because you're not going to keep on top of it. And if you are keeping on top of it, you're not going to be keeping on top of anything else. It's one of those. And just learn to delegate. Speak to your partner, speak to your mum. If you can afford it, get a cleaner. To be honest, I wish I'd got a cleaner. But equally, I've got an amazing mum. When I was heavily pregnant and I really struggled, she came in just before I had Jessie and she cleaned my house top to bottom for me while I looked after my nephew in the garden because it was summer. And honestly, I can't tell you how much that meant to me. So if people are asking, what do you need for the baby? Say to them, can I have 15 minutes of your time to clean my bathroom? Can I don't know, but ask your family for help because trust me, they'll want to help you. And if that's a way they can help you, then that's great. And if you have got babies and they're on formula or bottles, when nanny's coming around to see the baby, say to them, oh, I'm just going to go and nip upstairs and run around the bathroom, or oh, do you mind doing this for me, or do you mind helping me, or I need to run a quick errand, do you mind doing that while you're here? Just accept the help. Don't feel like you've got to do everything on your own. The same as clubs. If your kids have after school clubs, why don't you ask family to pick them up, or do you fancy taking so and so to swimming this week or next week or whenever you've got time? I didn't really do that, but in a way I wish I did. Would have made it easier on myself, and my mum would have been delighted to help. And Adam, he took Jessie to the jabs because I couldn't do it. But it's about signposting that, isn't it? Don't put yourself through the trauma. He's got one on Friday and Adam's taking him because I just can't. I can't do any more crying. But yeah, just accept help from family and friends if you've got it. It was raining the other day on the school run and one of my really good friends, she was like, do you want me to wait by the car with Jessie while you run the girls up to school? Save getting him out in the rain. If you've got a school mum that's helping, or if they've not offered, ask them. Because 9 times out of 10, I bet they'll go, oh no problem. They'll love to do that. You know what I mean? Just make it a bit easier on yourself. And lastly, take some time for you, some self-care. Last night I got in the bath. I absolutely loved it for the 2 minutes before both of my children got in with me, Lola and Lily. And we all sat in the bath and we spoke about what we were grateful for that day. And then my counsellor, therapist, I don't know, whatever you call him, she was FaceTiming me because I missed my session. But yeah, we rescheduled it and I didn't answer the FaceTime in the bath. Can you imagine? That'd just be mortifying. But yeah, take some time for you, whether that's 5 minutes away, if you're struggling mentally and you can justify it and afford it, book some counselling. That certainly helped me massively. If, for example, your partner's home on a Saturday and you just want to nip up to Tesco's and do the weekly shop, leave the baby with their dad if you can. Don't feel guilty for it because you can only be the best mum you can be if you take time for yourself. So yeah, I know I'm going on a little bit of a tangent, but yeah, life adjusting to more than one child, it's massive, and I completely forgot about that. So yeah, that's my advice. I've also got a question, this was ages ago, saying will I do a birth story video, sit down video. I wanted to do it and then something stopped me. I don't know why. When I talk about medical needs of my children, sometimes I get a bit worried about talking about it online. Only reason being is because they're not there to advocate and say if they're happy with the rest of the world knowing anything about them. Does that make sense? Like I said with Lily, she's got a really rare genetic condition. I could probably ask Lily, but she's still only 6. She probably wouldn't care me telling you about it. But maybe one day I'll get her on the camera and we can sit down and she can talk about it on her perspective now she's that bit older. But it's the same with Jesse. Any of his medical needs, whether they're big or small, obviously CMPA, still quite broad. I don't know if he wants you lot knowing. So I always get a bit worried about talking about personal things. I don't know. I'm a bit of an oversharer, as we all know, but I always get a bit worried whether I'm oversharing too much. And with the birth that me and Jessie had, it was horrendous. And sometimes I don't really like to be too negative on the internet. I don't know. So I'll have to think about that one. I would like to do a birth sit-down video and tell you about my birth. I don't know. Something's stopping me right now and I don't know why. But it'll be an interesting one to tell you because I think all we ever hear is positive birth stories, and as much as I'm here for that, that's not always the reality, is it? So yeah, I might do that, but I might not, and I hope you can respect that if I don't. It's just, yeah, it's quite personal, isn't it? Another one is, will I be going back to work? And yeah, unfortunately. No, I'm joking. Like I said, it's a catch-22. No one wants to work, but they've got to work. And yeah, we'll be going back to work. I currently, before when I'm on maternity leave, worked 4 days a week. So I'll probably be returning the same hours and the same days. I'm hoping financially that I can still keep my Wednesday off because that's the day that I used to do the food shop, run errands. And then in the afternoon, I'd always do something like when Lily, before she started school, would go to like a mums and tots. We'd do something together. And it was really nice. So I'm hoping, yeah, I can still keep my Wednesday free. But yeah, I'll be returning. For those of you that don't know, yeah, I work part-time for a corporate company in the corporate world. And I don't want to go into it too much, but I'm in the mortgage field and I'm more of an administrator role. But yeah, I absolutely love it. I don't love it. I don't think anyone absolutely loves it. But yeah, it's a nice job. It's easy. It fits around the girls. I can work from home or I can choose to go in the office, whatever I decide to do. And yeah, I've been working there now nearly 10 years. Can you actually believe that? And I will hopefully continue to do YouTube because it just makes me happy. And I kind of need to look at that as a second income now, which is mental now. But yeah, that's a little bit of a second income. So I will continue to do that as and when I can. And then touching on this subject, it's one of the last ones. I'm not going to go because I think this video is going to be so long. But someone's asked me if I'm doing a must-haves for a baby. Must-haves and then things that I've not really got on with. I would absolutely love to sit down and do that. I've done a few TikToks on things that I found really useful this time around as a third-time mum. And yeah, I would love to actually sit down and do a video of the things that I've absolutely raved about, things I've got on with, and then things not so much. So yeah, bear with me on that one. I will try and do a sit-down video on that, maybe this weekend. But I've got so much content to edit, I don't really want to keep filming until I've actually got up to date with my editing, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm hoping to do that, so yeah, stay tuned for that. But yeah, I'm going to leave it here because I think I've been filming now for about half an hour, I don't know. Jessie's asleep and I just want to run around the house like a headless chicken and try and get it to some form of normality, because after school today I've got to pick Lily up. Lola's got choir after school, so then I've got to run back to the school to pick Lola up from choir, and then we've got to hang around and go to swimming lessons, and then come back and I'm meant to prep tea. I don't know when I'm meant to be doing dinner, so it might be a McDonald's run after school, who knows. I have got some mints in the fridge, but this is what I mean, it's just a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. I'm not good with taking my own advice, am I? But yeah, that's me. But yeah, I've sat down. Thank you for the catch up. I hope you're all well, and if you're still here at this point, thanks for sticking around to the end. Equally, pop a comment down below because I love chatting to you all, and give this video a big thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. You get my drift. If you've enjoyed this video and liked this content, because then I know if you're enjoying and engaging with the content that I'm putting out there, so that'll mean the world. And yeah, if you're a subscriber, thanks so much for subscribing to this channel. I literally feel like we're all best friends. I feel like we're in this little book club but without the books. And thank you for getting me through some of the hardest times in my life. As morbid as that sounds, if I didn't have you guys to chat to, I think I'd absolutely lose my mind. But yeah, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna leave it there, and yeah, I'll catch up with you all soon. Much love.